Yo guys, it's MK, and today I'll be reviewing my league games this week against Zigzag and Corania. So yep, without further ado, I will say I was sick this week, so I'm definitely happy with the results. So yeah. Yep, first round, we're in Kazakhstan with the truck in the Soviet architecture, and then here it says Astana on that brown sign right there. The ACTAH looking character, and then the A, that's Astana. So I saw that in Incessant Astana, and he must have missed it. Cargonda, though, is like a fine region guess, though, without info, my opinion. Yeah, I mean, was a little bit annoyed that wasn't on Maltese, because that could have been big later, but I was still fine with any lead. Uh, Next round was just Sarawak pools. And then I mean that's not really all there is. Gen 3 in the pools. Yep. Also, I do want to give a huge shout out to Mariah Carey. I wouldn't have been able to win my games without her. So, big ups for Mariah Carey fans in the comments. Anyway, so this timer takes way too long, but that's besides the point. Next round, let me go down. Next round is just Peru, high altitude, the architecture, pools. I was between like Lake Titicaca or the round being near like Hunin, like Huancayo, so just like the center. But I decided it didn't really feel quite right for I can't talk right now. I decided it didn't feel quite right for Lake Titicaca, so I decided since I couldn't find info, I'll just send Hunin. I was just looking around the last second to make sure there's no sign. I was worried that he found info, but yeah. I just end off with a Hunin click, and it was. Also, I did want my games rescheduled because I was sick, but the organizers did not allow that because I'm not quite sure why, but shout out the league organizers, just have to say. Next round, Philippines. Don't really feel like moving on this country, so I just like got for a second and decided I didn't feel like it. Ends up being in maybe I shouldn't spoil it in case someone somehow hasn't seen the game already. Yeah, he also gets Philippines and it ends up being in Palawan, as you can see. Yeah, I don't think I get that unless I find a sign that says Palawan. So yeah, I don't think most people get that no move, most likely. I was worried about like Luzon, so yeah, I just didn't even think of that. It's always a risky send. Next round just ends up being somewhere in Greece with the tall wooden pools, the way the landscape looks, the architecture. Um, yeah, the road, everything. Very typical Greece. He was actually pretty far north, and then he moved more south a little bit late. But yeah, it was actually in Crete, which I didn't think it looked like Crete, so yeah, definitely not an easy round again. And about moving, neither of us, me and Zigzag both do not like moving, so I honestly didn't know what to expect. It's kind of like if we both could skip moving, we probably would have. Just more just being forced by the league to make us play a mode we don't like. Here we have Polish pools, Polish bollards, Polish language. On that side, I feel like against I did change up my strategy to try and move a bit more instead of insta-sending because I didn't think I really got any benefit from insta-sending since he doesn't really play this mode either, which is based, but besides the point again, no shade to moving players. Yeah, it just ends up being full, and I click middle south, and he tried to go slightly west, and I get a little bit of points from my more central click. So yeah, we had almost a 2,000 point lead. So far, no interesting rounds happened yet. Next, we have A-type antenna in Russia, which is usually near, like, Kaluga is like the average click with A-type. So that's where we both go, except I go to the road north of where Zigzag went. I couldn't find anything that lined up, but it's instead is the rare Leningrad A-type antenna, so not easy around again. It's lucky he didn't get that, but it's definitely not most people's first thought. I think most people just click where Zigzag and I went. This is just bad camera quality in Nigeria and desert. So just Kano is the like average click on this, and we both are in Kano, so yeah. I said I might as well try an Instant because I mean we're both gonna get it, and I was right about that. No point in wasting time with that, because I was pretty confident it'd just be Kano. Um, Next round was just somewhere in the UK, and I decided I wanna see if I can find a town sign, any info that could help me narrow it down. So just looking endlessly for signs, but it's kind of struggling. Like this sign didn't have anything that I knew how to use. There's a library note that it says Simpsons of Greenfield Mall. Not a library, what am I saying? It's a mall. But I didn't. I thought Greenfield was the most generic name for any town in England. So, and it's on an English flag, so at least that excluded anywhere else in the UK. But UK or England on 5x is still pretty big, with only a 2,000 point lead. Like he could have pulled a lot of points if he had made a really good guess. But we both go equal distant from the location. So nothing again. And if the last round was boring, then I just win. And it was the Netherlands. So I was not too unhappy to see this since I had a 2,000 point lead. As long as it wasn't like too far from the center and he didn't get lucky. But actually, I think he could have won on this. Yeah, he could have won on that, I'm pretty sure, if he had sent that right down there. So that was very unlucky for him. Alright. This is a no move game, which I played very poorly, I would say, which I'm going to blame on being sick and also being tired. Because I kind of want to just go to bed and rest. But, you know, it's not good. Too into the complaining about that. It's a whole different story. Yeah, we both send Madhya Pradesh, and he's slightly closer. I think it wasn't Madhya Pradesh, though. So both getting the state there. A good guess by Zigzag. Next round was Quebec, because we had no fronts. Looked pretty northern, and the architecture looked Canadian. Ontario, there would be fronts. Didn't see any language, but didn't think it was necessary. And Zigzag just sends Montreal, and I send middle, but it was closer where Zigzag sends, so definitely a very good guess by him. Yeah, I mean, makes sense, but I don't know, I wasn't confident enough to commit that. And then I forgot which round. I mean, this round was confusing. Plates, I couldn't even tell whether they're fronts or not. Didn't know what that plate on that truck was. Just looked middle, well, not Middle Eastern, but like middle, somewhere east, but like in between north and south. But other than that, didn't know. Thought it could stretch from like Virginia, North Carolina to like Missouri, so that's a large range. So we both take plenty of time on this round, and I decided to send like Tennessee Kentucky border, and so is Zigzag, but he's sending slightly more east, which does end up being closer because it is Virginia, which I thought they were not front plates though, or like they weren't real front plates. So I didn't think it'd be Virginia. So yeah, that was quite tough. Next round. Oh, this is the one I messed up. I sent way too quick on this. I'm gonna blame this round completely on being sick. There are hills in the distance that would only make sense for where Zigzag's clicking if he zooms on them again. It was just a really bad guess by me. Like those hills right there would not be where I guess. That's pretty free North Montana, but I was just kinda tired. Yeah, and I barely lost there. I didn't actually think I'd lose, but I forgot the scoring was a little bit rough on this. Yeah, and NMPZ I wasn't very confident with because that's definitely his best mode. Yeah, and first location, we start off with Peru, and this one was definitely helpful. These, like, whatever they were growing in the field made me think Tacna. So I just immediately send, because I know the road on the Chilean border, the north-south one, has a lot of these, I think. So I just assumed should be Tacna then. He actually sends much more north. So it was definitely a well-played insta send. Yeah, he's not happy with himself on that. So that definitely did bring up my confidence. But still, NMPZ, anything can happen, and I was annoyed that that was not Maltese. Next, we have Philippines, which is one of the more random countries. So, I mean, that trike right here kind of made me think Philippines. Also, the pole and the architecture, and there's the coconut palms and stuff. Also made sense. So I just click middle because I want to keep my lead. Don't want to risk anything. I mean, I could have clicked Luzon up here and won. Oh, could I have won? Probably not. It would have been difficult. I could have got a lot of points. Yeah, I don't want to risk that. This location, I mean, not easy. Just Western US somewhere. I thought it could have been like the new like West or East Oregon coverage or Idaho, but it was not. Yeah, I don't know. On a PZ, I'm kind of out of practice. He switches his guesses a lot. And I just got the vibe wrong in this round. It was just Utah. I haven't seen that coverage before, I don't think. But there's a lot of coverage in the US, so kind of hard to keep update with it all. Here we are back in Peru. Thought it looked south again. So I clicked Tacna again, but I was like, wasn't quite sure about that. So I thought maybe Moncalcuega would be better, which I don't know if Tacna would have been enough to win. I think I would have had him down to like 100 points if I clicked Tacna. So it wouldn't have been quite enough. I would have been kind of annoyed that I had him so close but not won. In this round, we both kind of, not kind of, we both majorly threw. Yeah, I was very unconfident about what continent to go on this. I thought the pavement looked Malaysian, which clearly it wasn't in hindsight. But like, I thought the landscape could have been like Colo Equa type area. Zigzag told me he was between like Colo and Noosa's and somewhere else. I forgot the other place, like Mex, I think. Yeah, we both end up going the wrong continent. So, yeah, I guess vegetation probably would have been wrong. Yep, definitely a weird Colo though. So, yeah, I was definitely a little bit shaken from that round. Next round is just Romania. So I decided to send middle because I don't think it's worth risking anything on this. Because if he tries to region guess at all and he's wrong, then I'd rather him try to region guess. I thought there was maybe a chance he does that, but I wasn't sure. And he also clicked middle, but if I tried to region guess, I think I would have been further away anyway, so it was definitely a good play not to region guess that. Um, Next round was Japan, which is definitely not my favorite country, especially in NMPZ. It's quite difficult. Guide wire in the distance looked like a Kyushu guide wire though, which he also thought. Which I don't know how you region guess Kyushu like that, but that was really a good guess by him and definitely scared me because thought I was gonna get merchanted. Would have been pretty annoyed if that happened. Next round was South Africa, and I was between like mountains near Durban and then the mountains near Mbombela, and I didn't know which one to send, so I thought I was trying to calculate if I lose if I hedge in between them, which I'm not sure if I would have, but luckily he thought something completely different and I didn't lose. So that was a very fortunate outcome from me. So yep, we definitely take that. We'll play to zigzag. Where's time? Let's go to the Corania game now. Alright, here we have the Corania game. Yeah, this game was probably less eventful than the zigzag game. Yeah, first round, just some Europe. I was looking for something to confirm the country, to be honest, because I was kind of tired. We see a French sign. It looked like it said like a road number. That was the sign that I thought A32 was the road number. But I don't think it was. I don't think there was a road number on this location. So I just get bored of it and decide to send. And Kirania just sends somewhere south of Paris. It was just basically dead center. Yep, nothing happening that round. The next round, we're in Indonesia. Pools are Central Java. We have tiled roofs, so I decided to just send. Corania is just focused on a sun, and which can sometimes happen on moving. Like you just tunnel vision on looking at a sun and don't really look at the round properly. Yes, that's what happened here. So he just went Sula because he was trying to find the town and just forgot. So definitely was happy with taking a lot of points that round. So that brought him below half health with one round. Alright, next round was just Philippines. Yeah, I decided I might as well move for a sign. It says Eastern Samar. So I just sent it, but he also found the sign, but he didn't send his east, so I got a little bit of points off him. I was hoping he wouldn't find it, but you know, as long as I find it, it's not too big of a deal. Because I could always just hope it just ends on round limit. Next round, Thailand, Thai language, Thai pools. I thought it just looked like not too far from Bangkok, but I decided to try and count the insulators to make sure like there weren't a lot. So, because I didn't want to go like Bangkok on south and lose a ton of points. I'm still sick, as you can tell. So, yep, I just decided to send after I decided I feel like it's not south, but I didn't think it was quite downtown Bangkok. Corania opts for the downtown Bangkok send, and we end up being a little bit closer with the Singbury click and bring him down to 1350. Next round was Brazil. So I said round pools here. I decided to try and look for a phone code, since I thought that was probably the best thing to do on a round like this. And this is 21 right here. And we win the game with that. So, yep, definitely take that. Yep, and so that was the moving win for us. Alright, on to the no move. Alright, first we start off with Canada and a Quebec bollard in the distance to the north. So, yep, should just be Quebec, and I send just in the forest north of the main river. He sends slightly more towards Ontario, which is also a fine guess, but it was slightly closer to us, so we get a little bit of points. Nothing happening that round, really. Next round was Bulgaria with the pool and fall coverage. I thought more northeast, and so did he. And it was max northeast. He got his points back on this round, so it's quite even here. Next round was not easy to me. It was just some random Europe. Wasn't sure where beyond that. Pools were too far away for me to make out houses. I didn't really have a good read on. I thought it looked though like Slovakia or Czechia the most though, because I just couldn't really place them anywhere else. So yeah, I just decided to send the border, and it was Slovakia. So yeah, not a little bit of points, but nothing too like massive. So I wasn't like too worried about that. Next round's somewhere on the Texas border in Mexico. So I just find a road that lines up, and I try sending it, hoping it is there. And Kirania actually makes a really good guess this round and sends Costa Nueva Laredo, and it was, so we lost a decent bit of points this round. So I was slightly worried another zigzag type situation was going to come where I'd have to play NMPZ. Here we have Oman, and with the way the mountains are, should be near Salalah. And he got it too. So unfortunately was not able to get the win from this round. Got 100 points though, so you know that's pretty huge. 200 points even. Yeah, knew I wasn't out, but definitely didn't like being behind 2,000 points. But I just needed like one big country. Or this round, which I was between France and Poland on. Definitely not like easy to me. I mean, Probably should have got the country here in hindsight. Luckily, we both messed it up. Yeah, we both go Poland. But I think the pavement's probably more French than the trees are not Polish. So yeah, definitely should have got that. I know I was kind of falling under the pressure at this point. I almost wanted to hedge, but if I did, I would have lost if he got it right. So I didn't want to risk that. Luckily, this one happened where I just saw the pools on the side. They looked like West Cali pools, and the landscape also fit to me. So I just decided to send West Cali, and I guess the pools were a little bit weird, so he decided to go Sumatra. So we do win off that round. Sep was definitely happy about that. Happy to win both my games despite being sick, not being able to get them rescheduled for unknown reasons to me. Couldn't have done it without Mariah Carey, though. So, nope. That'll be all for today's league review. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.